Fresh clips capture Trippie Redd just moments before 6ix9ine's girlfriend's killing, as he's caught issuing threats aimed directly at the people closest to him.
No, we definitely got footage of this mom kid. She live in building 18 out here.
Word is 6ix9ine's mom was nowhere to be seen, and his girlfriend ended up paying the ultimate price. Trippie could be taken into custody any second now. I've got every detail, so let's get into it. The chilling footage. The latest clips of Trippie Redd throwing out direct death threats at Tekashi 69 aren't just your usual rap beef anymore. Not after what went down with 6ix9ine's girl, Ariella Lang Costa Mejia Palano, who was executed on August 17th, 2025. This ain't some random accident, fam. This is a reality of when online beefs on Instagram Live explode into real-life gangster warfare. Out here, words actually carry weight. When someone says they're gonna body you, especially someone with the kind of connections and street credibility Trippie has, that's not just empty talk. That's a blood oath. And with Ariella's killing, it looks like that oath finally got cashed in, just not against the person everyone thought it would. This ain't coded dices or lyrical metaphors. This is raw, unfiltered, I'm gonna kill you energy. And when both these guys have deep gang affiliations, that threat carries deadly consequences in the streets. Trippie isn't just out here talking reckless. He's laying down a straight-up blood oath right on camera. And that Osama bin Tekashi jab, that's icy cold disrespect. Basically labeling 6ix9ine as a terrorist who deserves to be hunted and erased from the rap game. But it gets way darker when you catch the other threats Trippie was unloading during this whole beef. Back in a heated Instagram Live clash in May 2018, Trippie Redd openly threatened 6ix9ine with violence, declaring, "I'm even going to kill you with medicine, and when I see you, take your flag off." That medicine borrows some coded street lingo that can mean anything, from poison to bullets. Either way, dude was talking about sending 6ix9ine straight to the grave. He even dragged family into it, daring 6ix9ine to swear on his mom's name, and then doubled down by swearing on his own blood, saying, "Put this on my daughter's life." He even accused 6ix9ine of pushing domestic violence narratives. In the hood, when people start swearing on their kids' lives, you know things just cross into deadly serious territory. That straight, blood in, blood out type of energy.
Talking about?
You
What you
ain't
talking
that,
about?
homie.
You mad?
I'm gangster like that.
Oh, you gangster.
You know I'm gangster like that.
Where you at?
I'm in Brooklyn. You know where I'm at? I'm in Brooklyn. You know where
Alright,
I'm
stay
at?
back. Stay in Brooklyn.
I'm going to stay in Fuck,
Right back, stay back. You on the way.
No, Trippie, you ain't get down. No, I'm talking about nigga, stay there. What I'm going to stay in, you? Motherfucker, you're down with me.
You can literally hear the murder vibes dripping from Trippie's voice in that clip. This ain't no fake studio tough guy act. This is raw street energy from someone fully ready to ride out on his ops with his entire squad. In another Instagram Live session, Trippie Redd promised to beat the hell out of 6ix9ine if he ever caught him. But let's be real. Beat the underscore in street talk usually implies way more than just throwing fists. The scariest part of all is how Trippie started putting together a full-blown hit squad with other rappers who already had beef with 6ix9ine. Back in May 2018, during 6ix9ine's separate feud with Chief Keef and Tadu over accusations that Tadu abused his girlfriend Cuban Doll, things started boiling over. That's when the streets got dangerous. Trippie Redd linked up with Tadu and Chief Keef, dropping the diss track I Kill People, a direct aim at 6ix9ine. Fam, the title alone says it all. This wasn't just some diss record. It was a straight-up murder anthem with multiple shooters ready to catch bodies. And the coldest part? Trippie Redd teased the track on Instagram, captioning it as strictly about killing people and going album mode, framing it as retaliation for 6ix9ine's stunts. Dude wasn't even trying to hide it. He flat out admitted the song was only about killing people in the streets. When you throw that type of energy into the world, you're basically giving the green light to anybody hungry for street credibility. Now, to really understand how things spiraled into this level of deadly hatred, you gotta rewind to when the two were actually tight. They started as friends and collaborators in the SoundCloud rap wave, back when both were just young hustlers chasing a way out of the struggle. Trippie even flew 6ix9ine out to his studio and blessed him with 3 Pierre-born beats, essentially plugging his homie with heavy production. That collab session was supposed to be their big break, leading to tracks like Pose, 1469, Owie, and most importantly, what turned into 6ix9ine's breakout smash Gummo.
So that's where Pose and all that came from? That one, like...
Yeah, I had flew him out, bro. And that's where Pose came from. That's where Gummo...
This is where the snake moves began. Trippie was originally supposed to be featured on Gummo, but he decided to hold off because he wanted to personally go crazy on that specific beat. That choice backfired in the worst way, because 6ix9ine took the beat back to New York and flipped it into the viral anthem that turned him into a superstar.
All my beats, and we were supposed to do Gummo as the last song, but it had... Well, I didn't want to just put anything on that beat. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go crazy on that, so I just said, I'm gonna get on it later.
What makes this betrayal so much dirtier is that Trippie had no idea Gummo was actually crafted as a diss track aimed straight at him. 6ix9ine used Trippie's beat, Trippie's studio, and Trippie's hospitality to create a weapon against the very person who had put him on. That's snake-level treachery. During his 2019 federal testimony, 6ix9ine admitted he'd been jealous because Trippie landed a label deal first, and even though their collabs had worked out, he was secretly bitter about their dynamic. Translation? Dude was plotting on Trippie from day one, all while smiling in his face and eating food at his table. But the real crack in their bond came when Trippie discovered 6ix9ine's 2015 legal case involving the use of minor in a sexual performance. For Trippie, who carried personal family trauma, that wasn't something he could excuse or sweep under the rug.
I figured out bro did that with that little girl, and I ain't like that. Bro, my sister was raped, you know, did that.
Once Trippie got hold of the paperwork from 6ix9ine's case, it was done. He made it crystal clear he had read the legal files documenting 6ix9ine's guilty plea, and he wanted no part of it.
Did you ever talk to him like, yo, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, like...
Bro, he pulled up on me, and I was ready to hit with him. And bro was like, I'm emotional, I'm in my feelings, I want to talk. That's what he told me. And we was talking. And we talked about it. And we talked about the... I'm like, bro,
Is this after you wrote it online?
I'm like, bro, it's paperwork. He like, bro, I don't care, but that's fake. I'm like, bro, it's not fake, bro. It's a legal document, bro. Bro, like, I seen it. Jilla sent it to me.
Even when 6ix9ine tried to spin the story, claiming the charges were fabricated, Trippie didn't budge. He had looked at the court documents with his own eyes, and there was no denying the truth staring back at him. The reality of what went down was grim. In the hood, violating kids is an automatic death sentence in most people's minds. Violence escalated fast after that moral line was crossed. Trippie was allegedly jumped at a New York hotel by members of 6ix9ine's 9 Trey crew in November 2017. This wasn't some random hotel brawl. This was a coordinated hit ordered straight by 6ix9ine himself.
He's waiting for me at my hotel. Some 9 Trey. As soon as I walk in the building, hit right in my mouth. Got hit in my mouth. And then my beat his and then they ran. So I chased it myself most. I ran them down myself. Me, myself, and I.
Later in court, 6ix9ine admitted under oath that he arranged the attack, confirming that Trippie's accusations were 100% on point. When you send gang affiliates to attack someone who once called you a brother, you've crossed a line that can never be repaired. By that point, both artists had gang ties that made every threat dead serious. 6ix9ine had officially linked with the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods in the fall of 2017, while during his federal testimony, he claimed Trippie Redd was repping the 59 Brims, a rival blood set. That gang element is what transforms ordinary rap beef into life-or-death warfare. Once you've got real shooters backing you, threats stop being words and start becoming promises. And when those promises involve spraying blocks and catching bodies, innocent people like Uriella, Palano end up trapped in crossfire. Looking back at all the threats and violence, what happened to Uriella doesn't feel random. It feels like the streets cashing in. When you can't reach the main target, you strike what he loves. That's Street Justice 101. And that's exactly what may have gone down on that highway in Mount Vernon. On August 17th, 2025, hip-hop history was stained. Not by a legendary album release or epic performance, but by the day the streets collected on years of unpaid debts and an innocent woman paid with her life. Ariela Mesa Palano, a 33-year-old Dominican influencer, also known as Ariela Langasta, was found murdered inside her vehicle on the eastbound side of the Cross County Parkway near Exit 7 in Mount Vernon, New York. This wasn't some drive-by gone sideways, fam. This was a calculated execution. Police responded to a 911 call around 8 a.m. about a disabled vehicle on the shoulder. Inside, they discovered her slumped in the driver's seat, riddled with bullets. The Westchester County Medical Examiner's office confirmed she died of multiple gunshot wounds and ruled it a homicide. Ariela had close ties with Tekashi 69, even appearing in his 2023 music video for WAPI. But their bond went way deeper than just business. While many reports labeled her a collaborator and good friend, others, through social media speculation and viral chatter, painted her as his girlfriend. The timeline of her last hours is heartbreaking. Ariela clocked out from her shift at Icon, New York around 4:30 a.m. and was on her way home when she was ambushed and gunned down. Just imagine Shorty finishing a long night's work, drained and just trying to make it back to her bed, only for some cowardly shooters to be lying in wait to take her out. Her final social media post, shared not long before her murder, expressed gratitude and happiness, making her death all the more tragic and cruel. She was radiating positivity, spreading good vibes, not knowing killers were stalking her every move. She had nothing to do with the beef, yet she became collateral damage in a war she never signed up for.
Get your man, get your man, get your man. If y'all looking for 6ix9ine, if y'all thought that was revenge, that's definitely some revenge to hurt him.
What's chilling here is how this murder fits into a larger pattern of violence that's haunted 6ix9ine for years. Ariela's ties to 6ix9ine go back to around 2018. In that same year, reports say she was kidnapped by members of the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, who mistook her for one of his close affiliates during an internal gang feud. That 2018 abduction is a crucial piece people keep overlooking. It proves that Ariela had already been marked once simply for being connected to 6ix9ine, and she survived that ordeal. But the streets never forget, and they never forgive. What went down in 2025 might have just been the final chapter of something that started years earlier. When 6ix9ine learned about Ariela's death, his response said everything about how close they truly were. He poured his heart out on Instagram stories, posting clips of them riding roller coasters, vibing in cars, and partying together, calling her my sister, the Queen of New York, a tremendous woman. His messages read, "You supported me in everything. New York will never be the same. I loved you. Yay. I love you, Mo Gra, and no heart can replace yours," with broken heart emojis. The raw pain in those posts was undeniable, but so was the message. Her loyalty to him cost her life. By crowning her the Queen of New York and stressing her support, he was essentially confirming that she was deep inside his circle. In street logic, that automatically made her fair game for enemies who couldn't reach him directly. Other tributes poured in across the industry. Cardi B posted a photo of Mesa Palano on her IG story, writing, "R.I.P. Dominican Pretty." The fact that major stars were mourning her shows how embedded she was in the hip-hop world, and why she ended up as a target. Even the official police statement lined up with what the streets already believed. This was a targeted hit. When cops called it isolated, they weren't saying random. They meant specific, as in tied directly to Ariela's link with one of the most despised figures in hip-hop.
Yo, so a couple days ago, man, 6ix9ine's girlfriend was murdered sitting in the car. This is like crazy, man. I don't know, like, she's a beautiful lady, man.
King Yella's reaction summed up exactly what everyone in hip-hop circles was thinking. This was payback against 6ix9ine, carried out by striking someone he loved. The logic is cruel but simple. If you can't get to the man himself, you hurt the people closest to him, and make sure he lives with that pain forever. The style of the killing also reveals a lot about who was involved. Multiple gunshots, careful tracking of her daily movements, the guts to execute her on a major highway. That's not amateur hour. That's professionals with resources, planning, and the kind of reputation only tied to real criminal organizations. Police noted she was expected home that morning, and when she didn't show, her family went looking and stumbled on the crime scene. That detail is heavy. It means her killers likely studied her routine as closely as her family knew it. They had been watching, stalking, and waiting for the perfect moment. Even the location mattered. Mount Vernon sits right on the Bronx border, the heart of 9 territory, and dangerously close to areas where both Trippie and 6ix9ine's ties ran deep. Whoever carried out this hit chose Mount Vernon, precisely because it was a spot they could strike and vanish back into familiar turf. As of August 27, 2025, there were no suspects named, no arrests made, and authorities kept details like the exact timeline of the shooting and the motive sealed due to the ongoing investigation. But the streets don't need a press release to decode this. This murder marked a new height in the violence circling 6ix9ine. The beef had officially graduated from Instagram rants to full-blown executions. And if someone was bold enough to murder an innocent woman just for being connected to him, that means nobody in his orbit is untouchable. Not family, not friends, not business partners. No one. The killing of Ariela Mejia Palano was a blood-soaked warning delivered directly to 6ix9ine and to anyone else who thought about siding with him. The message couldn't be clearer. We may not reach you right now, but we'll take everyone around you until you pay your debt. And when it comes to possible motives, there's more than one. Sure, Trippie Redd's death threats point to one likely theory, but the cold truth is that 6ix9ine has stacked up so many enemies over the years that it could have been anyone pulling the strings. Dude's got more ops than Tony Montana in his final shootout. Every one of them has a reason to want to see him bleed. In the streets.
Cool with getting football numbers because of one guy. I mean, you can't just blame it on him, but he was sort of the piece that put it all together and got them all on the, took the stand and told on everybody. Which really hasn't happened with him.
When you can't get to the bullseye, you target the people he loves. That's Street Warfare 101. And the deadliest enemy 6ix9ine ever created came from his decision to flip on his own crew. Daniel Hernandez locked in with the 9 Gangsta Bloods in the fall of 2017, using their muscle to flex his street image while funding their moves with rap money. But when the feds closed in, he broke the cardinal code of the streets. He cooperated. On November 18, 2018, Hernandez and 5 other 9 associates were snatched up in a joint raid by the ATF, NYPD, and DHS, facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy, weapons offenses, and conspiracy to commit murder, with a potential life sentence hanging over him, minimum 47 years. He folded. On January 23, 2019, he pled guilty to 9 counts, admitted his gang ties, and signed on as a government witness. And let's keep it real. Snitching is the ultimate crime in the hood. You can body someone and still keep a shred of respect in certain circles. But once you rat, you're marked for death permanently. No stacks of cash, no platinum plaques, no viral fame can ever scrub that label off your name.
In the cities that we come from, the environments where they adjust to kind of the street codes, the street lifestyle, right? So these guys, they're looking at it like, nah, he's snitching on everybody. Can't do it that. No, I ain't. The actual consumers of hip-hop music.
The scale of 6ix9ine's cooperation was something hip-hop had never seen before. During the September 2019 trial of Anthony Harv Ellison and Aljamiah Nuke Mac, Hernandez testified for 3 days straight, mapping out the entire 9 structure, confessing to his role, and even name-dropping big figures like Cardi B and Jim Jones. He wasn't just exposing gang members. He was dragging rappers, producers, anyone who had once stood with him. His cooperation shattered the game, leading to convictions, like Ellison's 24-year sentence for racketeering and kidnapping. We're talking about football numbers here. 20, 30, 40 years in the pen because of 6ix9ine's testimony. Interview 1639, 1657. Joel Santana nailed it when he said this was an unprecedented level of cooperation in hip-hop. Former 9 Trey member denied drama. Butler later explained in interviews how Hernandez's testimony tore the gang apart, leading to conviction after conviction. Families were destroyed.
Put this in perspective and really follow me here. Imagine I would have stood tall, right? Kept it real. Did the 47 years right now. Right?
Well, you wouldn't be on the podcast, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get to. Who would?
Kids left without fathers, mothers grieving sons, and entire criminal networks that have been fueling whole blocks were dismantled because one man couldn't keep quiet. The cultural violation 6ix9ine committed can't be overstated in street politics. His cooperation deal didn't just derail his career, it obliterated it. In hip-hop, snitching is the ultimate taboo, tied to the old snitches get stitches code. And in street culture, there are really only 2 unforgivable sins.
Another TMZ staff member kidnapped you. Is that loyal to you? You're working right now. Carly's stealing all of the money that you're making right now and gives you crumbs of it, but it's taking majority of the money. Is that loyal to you? These are my people. Like, how many people I beefed with in 2018? I beefed with the whole West Coast. I beefed
Harming children and cooperating with law enforcement. 6ix9ine managed to carry the stain of both. Interview 1742, 1814. Even 50 Cent, who at first tried to defend 6ix9ine's decision from a suburban outsider's lens, admitted the street-oriented hip-hop world would never accept it. The unwritten rule of the hood is simple. You ride with your people until the end. You never flip to the feds.
We all know what we signed up for, man. Now we'll leave it at that. We know what we signed up for. And how it plays out, it plays out. Some people get the end of the stick, some people don't. Some people get worse situations than others, but it's all part of what we signed up for, and we can't complain or we can't be mad or try to figure out how the outcome became.
And you live with the consequences of the life you chose. What made 6ix9ine's violation even nastier was his attitude afterward. Instead of showing shame or laying low, he bragged about snitching like it was a badge of honor. When he got out, he even pulled quick wins, dropping Gubba in 2020, breaking YouTube records, debuting at number 3 on Billboard, and going live on Instagram with 2 million people watching as he defended his choices. Interview 1850, 1904. His whole defense boiled down to this. His own crew betrayed him first. They slept with his girl, robbed his pockets, and even kidnapped him. But here's the brutal truth about hip politics. None of that matters once you cross the line of cooperating with law enforcement. You can't undo that betrayal. You can't excuse the ultimate violation by pointing to smaller ones. Interview 1920, 1941. The flaw in 6ix9ine's reasoning is that he's trying to apply suburban, middle-class morals to street life. But once you sign up with gangs, you accept betrayal, violence, and exploitation as part of the package. You don't get to rewrite the rules when it stops benefiting you. His decision to cooperate left him living under constant death threats from former allies. He even turned down witness protection, relying instead on private security, keeping himself visible and within reach of anyone hungry for payback. But the harsh reality of street justice is this. It doesn't just punish the snitch. It punishes everyone around them. Family members, friends, girlfriends, business partners. Anyone who shows loyalty to a cooperator becomes a valid target. That's exactly how Ariella Palano got pulled into the line of fire. Her closeness to 6ix9ine dragged her into the orbit of his enemies. And many believe that's why she ended up on the wrong side of the gun. In street logic, if you can't touch the main prize, you destroy what he cherishes most. That way you inflict maximum pain and send a message. Nobody is untouchable. And let's be real, the list of people who wanted 6ix9ine gone stretches far beyond just the 9 Trey names he testified against. 6ix9ine's role in 9 Trey was both beneficial and toxic. He funneled in cash, acting as their financial lifeline, pouring tens of thousands from his music bag into the gang's operations. But when he flipped, he didn't just betray a few individuals. He dismantled an entire criminal machine that had been feeding families and sustaining communities. On the stand, he even testified that Cardi B was a member of 9 Trey and pointed at Jim Jones as another alleged affiliate. Even though no charges came from those claims, the damage was done. Those names were now tied to gang politics. creating more enemies for him to worry about. Interview 2117-2145. This perspective from Joel Santana captures the street mentality perfectly. Everyone knows the game, everyone knows the risks, and everyone accepts the consequences. But 6ix9ine's decision to cooperate broke the very rules that hold that game together. And his problems weren't just local, they stretched across borders. He was arrested in the Dominican Republic for assault in 2023 to 2024, proving his beefs went global, with enemies in multiple countries. Predicting where the next shot would come from became impossible. His money problems only added fuel to the fire. By 2022, court filings showed he couldn't secure pre-arrest advances and was running out of cash. By 2025, reports labeled him bankrupt, his Bentley seized, assets sold off. Broke and desperate, he was forced into risky associations and reckless decisions. That desperation put everyone around him in danger. Without proper protection, you start rolling with people you shouldn't trust, taking chances you can't afford, and dragging loved ones into the crosshairs. His legal headaches only made things worse, keeping him under the spotlight at the worst possible time. He was arrested for domestic violence against Exilin Lamas Viral, violated supervised release through unauthorized travel and failed drug tests, and sat in detention until November 2024. Each headline was a fresh reminder to his enemies. 6ix9ine is still out here, still exposed, still a valid target. The killing of Ariela Mejia Palano fits what security experts call soft target retaliation. When you can't touch the main figure because he's shielded, you go after the ones closest to him, the ones who are easier to reach. It's psychological warfare designed to inflict maximum emotional destruction and remind everyone that no one in the circle is safe. Step back and look at the bigger picture. Trippie Redd's on-camera death threats. The dozens of 9 Trey members whose lives he wrecked through testimony. The rivals he created through reckless stunts. The list of people with reasons to see him punished is endless. The real question isn't whether 6ix9ine had enemies capable of ordering this hit. It's which one finally decided to collect. In the hood, they say you reap what you sow, and 6ix9ine sowed betrayal, disloyalty, and violations of street code for years. Now the harvest came due, and an innocent woman paid for his sins. That's the unforgiving reality of street justice. It rarely ends with just a person who broke the rules.